Hello guys, welcome back to the Motherblade devlog, and this devlog will be focusing way more on the world building and level design, as well as some sound effects, visual effects, and the Spline tool as always. So firstly, I would like to start with the starting area. I'm working on that for probably a demo as well. And for now I only have some kind of ruins and the elevator. The elevator is quite simple. The player just has to step on the trigger in the middle and then he will be able to traverse back and forth. It's highly adjustable, all the VFX, sounds, and the movement is happening by the script that is completely adjustable. And for example, I can tell that now this elevator will travel more deeper, and soon I will also show you the sounds as well in the next video. Those are very funny because when player steps on the trigger, all the sounds are spawned and layered inside Unreal by the code. And it's highly not optimized, but I was trying to make it work, so in the future I will mix them in the professional software as well. Next, we also have some other designs. This one, for example, is just a forge, a station where the blacksmith will be located. Probably in the future he will be either selling something or maybe repairing or upgrading player equipment. I also wanted to show you some animations, but I didn't really go hard on them in this devlog because I was mostly busy with modeling, texturing and visual effects. But here we have a boss. It's just an idle animation, and I only just made the shaky part of his spikes. And we also have a night golem. He has idle, running and attack animation. I tried my best to make it feel kinda robotic or mechanic, but I don't know if I accomplished that because some of my animation friends told me that it doesn't look that good, and I will need to try to fix that in the future. Next we have some VFX. Those are honestly quite simple, but I was trying to learn Unreal outdated Cascade, I believe it's called, instead of Niagara. And then we have an item and then item pickup animations. They also have a sound, and here you can see how they look. I also wanted to show you or tell you about the sphere you can see around the player right now. And this is a blue sphere, and what it does essentially, it disables and enables all the sound to be played when something enters or exits it. It's very important because all the sounds when placed on the game will actually be playing. Even if their sound is 0, it's still impacting like it's 100%. This sound has basic Unreal settings where it will become more quiet or louder based on the distance, as well as some objects, like for example this green cube, are also forcing this sound to be quieter. UI is quite hard, honestly. Here, for example, I have a raw concept of a player menu for the traits or talents, however you call it. Those will be equipable and probably lootable in the game. They'll be located somewhere on the left and then placed on the right, either manually or automatically. And based on this illustration, I tried to work around more around the UI, the design itself. I wouldn't say it was successful because I don't really like how it looks like. It feels very mobile. Maybe reducing the size of it would be better, but overall I just don't like how it looks like. I tried my best to dodge the minimalistic design as everyone tends to follow. It's just a meta, and I'm afraid I will also be probably leaning towards simplified UI in the future as well. Level design is quite difficult and at the same time quite easy if you have a good picture inside your head, but I had some challenges for some parts and some were quite easy. Here we have a forge and it's held by statues. Those statues are manually posed by me. I also have another design, some blockouts, but most of them look bad, so I'm not gonna show them, except this one because this one just has lighting. This is all that needed because you don't see all the details. And then back to the spline tool or curve tool, however you want to call it. Here is a quick update, refresher on how it looked before and what it can do. So it's a mesh placement tool that is based on the curve that I can adjust, but now it has two more modes. One will be spiral mode that I'm showing right now. This one is mathematically correct, so for example it's just way faster and way simpler to create it instead of trying to manually create the spiral. It has adjustments like changing the radius, changing the height, changing the length, changing each position, starting position, and also mirroring it. So why do I need it is very important, is because I want to create a spiral pathway, let's say, and as you can see the player can only move in two directions, left, right, or when we rotate we can also move left, right, but another axis. So this tool now got updated so the player can actually follow it. So now it's not just a level building tool or editor tool, but it's also an in-game mechanic. And as you can see, the camera also zooms away from the player, and it gives me a lot more possibilities to work on some level designs and puzzles. For example, this one where player has to jump and we can control where the player will move. And honestly, before I wasn't able to do it. So yeah, the player can freely move, jump. All the interactions are still available. Jumping, fighting, crouching, everything is still here. All it affects is player movement and player direction. So how camera works, it just zooms in when we start and then zooms away when we go. I don't remember the distance, but it's adjustable by percentage. And then another one, a chain one. It has zero logic behind it, honestly. I just wanted to create chains, quite simple, and I wanted them to simulate physics. And as you can see, it's not finished. I would say it's 50% done, because I can just fix the physics issue. If someone else has experience with physics constraints or what I can do I would appreciate the comment, because I really don't know what to do. It just keeps shaking and stretching even before the limits that I set up. So what it has two anchors, start and end of the curve, and then we can just change the anchor. So for example, one will be steel, one won't. And we can also set up the mesh. Basically, if it's not anchored, it will simulate physics, and if it's anchored, it will stay in place and the chain will be connected to it. So what's good about it is that if something has a mesh or doesn't, one side of the chain has physics, the player will be able to interact with it. As well as we can disable the physics at all, and then we have our static mesh chain that was placed by the curve. Then we have some lore. This will be a little bit more graphical and very simple. So the red one is the lore that did exist before the game, and the red represents main lore for the game basically, and it still needs to be adjusted by like 50%, maybe expanded, I don't know. But in the previous month I spent around 2-3 weeks expanding the additional lore by a huge amount. It just oversized the actual lore right now, and I'm very proud of how it came up, and I have so much possibilities to expand with it and mechanics, and I also want to expand it by 50%. Talking about lore, here is a very simple concept of where we'll be located. As you remember before, the elevator and the circular pattern, it is actually a monastery or ruins, altar, whatever you call it, and it goes deep underground for around 4 levels. So, and each one of them has its own catacombs, so the player will be able to explore a lot in there. And this tower, monastery, however you call it, is located at the edge of the big hole, or maybe even edge of the world, if you'd like to call it like this. And this is basically it. This is the whole video right here. This is what I've been working on. I've been going hard on some sounds, visuals, lighting, design, modeling, texturing, and I hope that you like the progress. I also appreciate everyone following it. I'm very proud of my progress as well, and in the future I hope we will achieve playable demo in like at the end of the September, hopefully. I still need to focus a lot on the combat animations, mechanics. It's all very kind of difficult to work with and adjust, and I'm not really experienced with the montages. And there are some other mechanics that expanded from the new lore, and they're touching mostly on the healing system and the respawn system. So hopefully in the future you will see something more interesting and cooler. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe. It's the best way to support me, and stay safe. Bye.